Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and for today's video we are going to be doing a book haul. So it's been quite a while since I've done a book haul. I genuinely don't remember the last time that I've done a book haul, but these are all of the books that I have accumulated since my last one, I'm pretty sure. And that's really exciting. Because like I said, it's been a while since I've done a book haul. I don't know exactly how many books are here. I think there's like 13. So let's just get started. These aren't going to be really in any particular order. We're just gonna kind of grab and go. So the first one that I got in the month of October, intending to read it in the month of October. It just didn't end up happening. And that is The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. This is like a mystery thriller from what I understand, which is why I got it in October. I wanted to read spooky books. I did want to read this. I heard Brittany from Brittany the Bibliophile talk about it in her Let's Talk About Thrillers recommendation. And basically it's about this girl who lives with her family and finds out some really creepy things and flees, leaving, and then years later she comes back because I believe her cousin is missing, and she kind of feels guilty because she left her cousin behind all those years ago, and more family secrets come up, and it's like really gross, and there are a lot of content warnings, I'm pretty sure, for this, but I don't really know because I haven't read it yet. I do intend on reading this by the end of the year, hopefully, but yeah, this is the first one that I got. It's pretty short, and I'm excited to see because that was not the first time I'd ever heard of it, but it was kind of like the deciding factor on whether or not I would pick it up. So the next one that I have is one that I have an entire reading vlog dedicated to, and that is The Dark Matter of Mona Starr by Laura Lee Gullidge. So this is a graphic novel that I picked up on a whim at Barnes & Noble. I hadn't ever heard anything about it. The art style just looked really intriguing. It's like black and white with a little bit of yellow interspersed. And basically this is about a girl named Mona Starr who is in high school. I believe she's like a junior or senior. And Mona is dealing with depression, and it's getting really bad to the point where it's affecting her daily life. And so Mona starts going to therapy and working on coping mechanisms to deal with her depression, but she calls her depression her matter. And her matter follows her around, and like I said, it's really debilitating. So she starts going to therapy and working on coping mechanisms, and this is just a wonderful representation of what depression and anxiety look like. This is the closest I've ever found my mental health represented in a book, and so this book meant a lot to me. You can see me gush about it in that reading vlog. You can also see me cry in that reading vlog. But yeah, I loved this. This was absolutely amazing. This isn't a review, but I picked this up on a whim. I hadn't heard anything about it, and I'm so sad that more people aren't talking about this because I feel like it's one a lot of people would really like, and it's definitely very educational and has very accurate representation, like I said, of mental health. The next one I have is a manga that is very different from the previous one, and that is Tommy by Junji Ito. This is an almost 800-page horror manga about a girl who can seduce men and convince them into killing, specifically her, and then she can come back to life. And it's really creepy. The art style in this is beautiful. It's very gory. Obviously, this is a horror manga, and so it's pretty dark, but it's not like jump scare thriller scary. It's just kind of like, ooh, that's gross. At least to me, I didn't find it like super scary. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was my first time ever reading anything by Junji Ito, and I was definitely really pleased. And this is the one that most intrigued me. I wasn't sure about his other work, but everybody says that Uzumaki is like his best work, so I'm very excited to try that one in the near future. The next two I bought together. So the first one is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. What I've heard this compared to is basically an adult fantasy very similar to the Wayward Children series. If you didn't know, that is one of my favorite series of all time, if not my favorite series of all time. So basically it's about this guy who lives a pretty lonely life, and he has to kind of like inspect these magical children for a living, is what I understand. He goes around inspecting incidents that involve these magical children, and one day he's sent out to this house in the Cerulean Sea to like inspect a situation going on with kind of like an orphanage, very similar to Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children. And he kind of falls in love with the owner there. I've heard a lot of people cry at this book, and that's really intriguing to me. Also, this cover is absolutely everything. It is one of my favorite covers of the year by far. So I'm really, really excited. I started reading this in the bookstore before I picked it up to make sure that I liked the writing style, and I definitely do. I need to read this as soon as possible because I have a feeling it could become a favorite of all time. The next one that I picked up in that run was A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I've talked about this one a little bit on my channel, but not a ton. So this is the first book in the Scholomance series, and the first book I've ever picked up by Naomi Novik. It's an adult fantasy about this school that you go in and you don't come out unless you graduate, and the only way that you graduate is basically by staying alive. You can kind of manifest things happening here, but even by stressing or having anxiety that a monster is going to come out and get you, that is a manifestation and that will happen to you. So we're following this girl named Elle, and I freaking love her. She has such a sassy attitude, and she has like this great power within her. She could be one of the best students at this school, but she refuses to use dark magic and like let that power overcome her. So she kind of is reining in on that. That's really all I know about it. It's very vague, but this world is like nothing I've ever read, and it's super intriguing. Plus, like I said, I love our main character. She's so sassy and fun. So I'm so excited. Plus, this isn't super long, so I have a feeling I could definitely finish this one by the end of the year. And again, this cover is one of my favorite covers that I've ever seen. The next book that we have is one that you've probably heard about if you've spent any amount of time on BookTube, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is her most recent book. I got the Waterstones edition. It doesn't have the sprayed edges, but I like this cover way more. Basically, if you don't know what this book is about, it's about this girl named Addie LaRue who is living in 1700s France, I believe, and one day makes a deal with the devil to get out of something and save her life. So when she makes this deal with the devil to become immortal, the kind of catch is that no one she meets will ever remember her. And so she's living a very, very lonely and long life until one day someone does remember her. That's literally all I know. And again, this is one that I've heard makes people cry, which I don't know why. But I'm super excited to read it. I've heard that it's kind of a slow read, but that it's super good. And yeah, I'm so excited, and this cover is, again, so stunning. The next one I got such an amazing deal on, and that is The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell. This is the sequel to The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I have not read The Last Magician yet, but it's one that a lot of people love, and when I saw this book for like literally $5, I had to pick it up because it's a hardcover and it's beautiful, and I do intend on reading the first book, plus this series has such high praise that even if I don't end up liking this, I didn't spend very much on this, and so on the off chance that I do end up loving the first book, not getting this one seemed silly to me. So I don't really know much about this series other than it's kind of set in Manhattan, I believe, and there's time travel, and they have to steal an object in order to like save the world. I don't know. I don't know much. It kind of sounds like Avengers Infinity War a little bit. That's kind of the vibe I get with the time travel. The next two books are part of a series. The first one is the Romance Book Club, and the sequel is Undercover Bromance, both by Lyssa Kay Adams. These books are about these kind of men that are living in Los Angeles, I'm pretty sure, that are doing really well for themselves. Some of them are in tech, some of them are business owners, some of them are pro athletes. And in the first one, we follow Gavin Scott, and they're all, like I said, doing really well. They're rich, some of them are famous, but their marriages and love lives are lacking. So basically what they do is there's a group of them that are in this bromance book club, and they read romance novels in order to save their marriages or get the girl that they're going after, whether that be a pre-existing relationship or a newfound one. So The books are kind of meant to help them with communication skills and, like I said, just saving their marriage, along with the boys there that they have to support them in this. I absolutely adored the Bromance book club. I thought it was so funny and so wonderful and also really heartwarming. The series, I've heard, only gets better from there, so I am super excited to pick up Undercover Bromance in the very near future, as well as all of the novels to follow. The last 3 books in this haul I actually got at the thrift store, and I'm really excited about this because I've never found any books at the thrift store, and these books only cost me $4 altogether. The first one is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Bachman. If you didn't know, I've been reading a lot of Frederick Bachman this year. I guess not a lot, I've only read like 3 of his books, 2 of his novellas, but I absolutely love him. He is solidified as one of my favorite authors of all time, and I really want to read all of his books, and so when I saw this at the thrift store for $1, I had to pick it up. It's in not super great condition, but it's definitely could be worse, so I'm really excited to eventually read this and annotate this copy and just have it on my bookshelves. Because like I said, he's one of my favorite authors. He just writes so phenomenally. I don't know much about this book. I just, like I said, know it's Frederick Bachman and I want to read it, so I don't have a synopsis for you, I'm sorry. The next one, I'm like really impressed that I found, and that is Slammed by Colleen Hoover. This is Colleen Hoover's first ever book, and I'm pretty sure this is the self-published edition, which is crazy because it's like, I don't know if it's a first edition, but I think so, because this is when she was self-published and not traditionally published. So these covers have since been redone and taken on by a publisher, obviously. I don't know much about this one. I just know that I'm trying to make my way through Colleen Hoover's backlist and I need to read this one. I haven't heard the best things about it, but it's Colleen Hoover, so it should be a pretty easy read, I'm hoping at least. And I would love to read it by the end of the year to kind of get my Goodreads goal up, if I'm being honest. And also, like I said, finish Colleen Hoover's backlist. And the last book in this book haul and that I got at the thrift store was An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This I got for literally $2 and the hardcover is in pretty good condition. This is a science fiction book about this girl who one day stumbles across this weird statue in the middle of her town, takes a picture of it or takes a video of it, uploads it online, and she basically becomes famous overnight because these things that they have deemed called Carls have popped up all over and nobody knows what they're doing. A lot of people really raved about this when it first came out and I never read it, and I'm glad that I found it at the thrift store because it does intrigue me, but I don't know that I would ever pay for it full price just because I don't know if it's something that I'll enjoy. But like I said, it really intrigued me, so I'm glad that I have this one, and the sequel to this recently just came out, so if I do enjoy this, I can definitely go and pick that up. That's it for my book haul. I know it was pretty big, but those are the books that I've bought like over the course of months. I really haven't done that much shopping book-wise in a really long time, and so the fact that I have this many books is kind of exciting to me. But I wanted to get this up before like my birthday and Christmas so that those can maybe be separate hauls. But let me know down in the comments below what books you've recently picked up, whether that be from the library or from the bookstore or wherever. And let me know what you think I should read first. I always love talking to you guys in the comments, so if you would leave a comment, that would actually make my day. But yeah, I hope that you're doing well reading, mentally, and otherwise. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and I really hope to see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.